Hello, my name is David Davenport, and I teach economics here at McClendon Community College in Waco, Texas. I'd like to show you a trade project that I've been using for a while now in my micro and macro classes, and I hope you can adapt it for use in your own course. The project started on our economics trips to New Zealand and Australia. I'd show my face-to-face students here on campus what students did with the trip version of the project. We would go to company websites, look at the food, the products, prices. Students were really interested in what we did, so I adapted the trade project and now I use it in the classroom. So most of my students have never actually even left the county, and I find the project's a great way to bring international trade to life. It really makes the lectures a lot livelier. Students who come from foreign countries are usually a bit quieter, but after a few weeks they'll really open up. It's been a fantastic way to bring in their foreign experience as we discuss the different topics in the course. Students in the class who haven't traveled really benefit from hearing this outside perspective. The way I run the project, students will turn in 4 separate assignments over 6 weeks. You're going to need 1 to 1.5 days of in-class time for discussion, and the only real dollar cost requirements are printing out the assignments for the students themselves. So let's look at the assignments. In assignment 1, students are sent to their favorite stores and asked to fill out the price and size information in the table. First table shows what students will fill out, and the second shows my data that we'll use throughout this demonstration. The only strange part is the size of the toilet paper. Some toilet paper rolls are single ply, some are double, some packs have 124 sheets per roll, and others have 248. And it's just a fun way to get students to see their research isn't always a straight and easy path. For assignment 2, students are randomly assigned to a country with 1/3 each going to New Zealand, Australia, or Canada. I chose these 3 countries because I have a good familiarity with them, and they are English-speaking countries of a sort, so there isn't much of a language barrier. Students are trying to predict sizes and prices for the basket in their newfound home, so I need to introduce them to both the metric system and exchange rates. I give them a quick tutorial on the metric system, a 10-minute lecture about exchange rates and how to find one, and then I send them off to do their work. I break it into 2 separate parts to try and make it a bit easier on the struggling students. You can expect some students to struggle with this at the beginning, especially those who haven't traveled to other countries. Assignment 3 is where students really start to have fun. They're going to go to a pre-selected store's website in their country and then fill out their table from assignment 1, but inputting the foreign data. Data shown here is from information I pulled from the Countdown website in Auckland, New Zealand. I warned students that this one may take a bit of time and that they will have to think about how they're going to get their data. Ground beef is known as beef mince in Australia and New Zealand. The New Zealand measuring system for eggs uses numbers, and Cocoa Krispies are actually called Cocoa Pops. I don't tell them what to look for initially, but if they're having trouble finding their products, I will give them hints. Getting the Big Mac and gas prices can be a bit tricky, so I send them to The Economist magazine's Big Mac Index and a good gasoline website that you can see there in the table. Students really enjoy exploring the website and seeing all the different products and terms in different countries. So assignment 4 is the capstone part of the project and is definitely the hardest. Students are asked to bring all 3 of their assignments to class. I divide the class into the 3 groups by country and then work through the assignment. I give a quick lecture on purchasing power parity, the law of one price, and I show them an explanatory video on the Big Mac Index. I work through my calculations on the board with the formulas as shown on this page. The country mates then are going to work together to get their calculations and helping each other out. When they're done, the countries each designate a prime minister who puts their data on the board and makes a country presentation. As compensation, just for fun, I give each leader some New Zealand candy that I've got at the house. So there are 2 final products for the assignment 4. A correctly filled out table and a 2 to 3 paragraph explanation of what happened with their data. Either purchasing power parity held or it didn't. They also need to give me several reasons for why purchasing power parity usually doesn't hold. Sometimes students take me for micro and macro, and I don't want them repeating their country data. So the simplest solution is just have them do a different country. If they have familiarity with a foreign country, they can try that as well. Mexico and England are really good alternatives, as HEB is in Mexico and a Walmart subsidiary is actually there in England. For advanced students, you could even have them do all three countries and see if there are any arbitrage possibilities. So what am I hoping students will get from the trade project? Well, from a classroom perspective, here's the list of some of the concepts I do cover in class. I've already talked about many of these, but would like to quickly talk about two more. H-E-B is a San Antonio-based grocer operating in Texas and Mexico, and I've asked students what size milk bottle they would expect to find in Mexico and why. The answer is 3.78 liters, the same as it would be in Canada. We can then discuss how companies can reduce average fixed costs by producing bottles on one line from a large plant and then shipping across borders. They start to get it. A second, more personal example is a local business here received a bill for about $1 million and the project manager paid him in US dollars. Problem is, the bill was in New Zealand dollars. Long story short, the project manager got fired. And it's a great story to get across to students. They've got to understand currencies even here in Waco. So general benefits to students are they learn a little bit about economic research and the scientific method, why they need to know the metric system, and most importantly, that there's a large world out there. If they understood and enjoyed the project, they should seriously consider looking into international trade as a career, especially if they speak a foreign language. From a personal perspective, I think students should travel to at least one foreign country. This gives me a chance to talk about New Zealand and Australia and hopefully whet their appetites. One thing I'm pretty proud of here at our school is that we have a Student Scholar Day each fall and spring where students can present their own research. Students have the opportunity to earn a 20% boost on their trade project grade by creating a poster. These are some of the examples that would qualify them for the bonus points. Some of our students work, so I don't require students to be present at Student Scholar Day, but I do really try to sell it. They learn how to work with PowerPoint and Excel, how to embed graphs into a presentation, make posters, how to carry themselves in front of a large group of people. Plus, they get a free lunch at the Scholar Day, and I give them New Zealand cookies and pavlova as incentives. So thank you for watching the presentation. I hope you can use this in your classroom. For other options or how to use this on a study abroad, please contact me at ddavenport@mclennan.edu, and I'd be glad to send you the Word document version of the assignments. Have a great day.